Good morning, Chamber members. Welcome to Monday Minute for Monday, July the 8th, 2019. I'd like to talk today about reconciliation and specifically lessons in reconciliation. We know that in the community here we've undertaken to participate in the Truth and Reconciliation journey in the Battlefords with several organizations and other groups, and we've had 5 community gatherings to date. And then we're gearing up to plan for a series of events and learning opportunities over the next year as well. But I wanted to touch base with you about the Canadian view of reconciliation and specifically related to business. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce has undertaken 3 sessions across the country, the first of which was took place in Saskatoon. Thunder Bay also hosted an event, and there will be a third event specifically to discuss reconciliation on the East Coast. So we have the notes attached for you from the event in Saskatoon, and I know the Thunder Bay notes will be out later this month as well. We'll be able to share those findings with you. What they wrote specifically from the people that participated in the event was that reconciliation is an opportunity. It may not perhaps be an obligation, but we do find ourselves with a really big opportunity here to get together and to try to make our world better. One of the key things that people at the session talked about was how difficult it was to define reconciliation. Their comment was that it is much like happiness. It can mean several different things to several people. So that can be a challenge for some in business and perhaps in government as well. It doesn't matter what you call it, though. The fact is that we all know we need to make steps and move forward in this regard. What they highlighted as well is that the reconciliation conversation in Canada has reached unprecedented levels, and I would agree with that. Certainly in the chamber world, all of the local chambers in the province are participating in some way in reconciliation events or in journeys and community gatherings like we are here in the Battlefords. Business, of course, has its part to play, as does government. And in many cases, business is leading the way. For example, Nutrien has put out an Aboriginal content playbook, which for many of its suppliers initially was a shock, but they have come around. They've found ways. Nutrien's worked with their suppliers to find ways to work with the Aboriginal community, find suppliers that can help support their business, and make a real impact on the lives of Aboriginal people in this province. Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce, of course, we've talked about them with their Indigenous Engagement Charter coming out in September. We look forward to that launch. And that will be a way for businesses to sign on to a 3-year commitment to become more engaged and understand and get their business more involved and engaged with Indigenous people, whether it's in procurement, in HR, in several different areas. There will be lots more information out on that in the fall. It also provides, and we'll attach a copy of this report for you to read, several recommendations or items that the government could take note of and use in its own work to become more reconciliation friendly, if you will. It's a good read. I hope you take a few minutes to go through it. I'm anxious to see what's come out of the Thunder Bay and the East Coast events when they happen as well. I hope you have a great week in business, and we'll talk next week.